Hi, everybody. Rachel Elise Johnson here. I am the artistic producer of the Allen and Gray Musical Festival, which is happening this August, the 2nd through the 8th. And I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to be a part of the Allen and Gray Musical Festival experience. Some of the ways you can do that are, first and foremost, as a writer. We are always seeking that new, amazing work that amplifies or focuses on marginalized voices. And if you have a work that you know is ready for prime time, is ready for the world to see and to be exposed to everyone, we would love it if you would submit it to us. We would love to take care of it and show it to the world. So please go to the allenandgray.com website and submit your work. We are going to do 4 productions during the summer, so please reach out. We are still accepting submissions and have not made our decisions yet. Another way to participate is by being on the creative team. We're going to be looking for directors and stage managers and actors and everything in between. And it is so important to have teams that not only reflect the diversity of the work, but the diversity and desires of Allen and Gray. So please reach out. You can email us or reach us through the website and see if you can maybe join our team this summer. And last but not least, if you are a sponsor or you are a company or a person who is able to either provide monetary support for the festival, no matter how small or how big, or you could provide social media support and outreach, we would ask you to reach out and let us know. In order to make amazing works like this possible and bring them to the world, we need that support and we need that money to pay our artists what they deserve and to make sure that these new works are heard and seen. And with that, I would love to introduce the creators of this festival and just the incomparable men themselves, Richard Allen and Taryn Gray. Yay!
Oh, we were muted. Thanks, Rachel.
Anytime.
Ricky, we can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
Ricky! No!
Is your mic not working, Richard? Maybe his mic is bad or something.
Technology.
I know.
And now you get a glimpse as to why we need a team of people for Allen and Gray for this festival, so that we can make sure everything runs smoothly. Everything helps.
Maybe if you leave and you come back, I don't know what's going on. We'll remove him from the feed there and wait a second. But yeah, thank you, Rachel. We're of course extremely excited about the festival up and coming, and obviously we've been working on this since the last festival, and so I'm really excited to see what's in store this year. Of course, we've been looking around the internets for a ton of amazing content, and we've already received some amazing content, and I'm excited to see what we continue to receive in all of that.
I think it's going to be really phenomenal. I think we're going to see works and hear things we've never heard before. And
Absolutely.
People are going to be surprised by not only what we bring to the table, but for people who've never really experienced musical performance like this, they might actually find that they love a world they never thought they loved before, because that's what new artists bring. That's what voices we haven't heard bring. They bring different perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the big things that we're focusing on this year, of course, is when we do choose those shows, we want them to be in a place where we're able to foster that show into a wider audience, and the wider spread being the internet. There's a really unique opportunity here that we haven't had before, which is that we get to open up the world as the stage. And so not only do we have the opportunity to take these shows that are created by marginalized voices and present them, but we get to present them to additional communities that maybe don't often or would otherwise not get to witness these musicals. So we're really excited to bring theater, into every home that wants theater. It's really cool.
And work with creative teams all over the world. Right? It's not only the homes that they're going to get to see, but the people who get to make it can be from anywhere. The joys of working in this environment is that we're going to see different casts that you might not see on a normal stage or in a normal movie because they're all in different places.
Yeah.
Yep.
Richard, you're back, and we can hear you.
Yay, you can hear me. Technical things. I'm excited to talk, and I love that what you guys are talking about, but I think Chad is here.
Yeah, let's bring him in. Hey, Chad.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
Looking good, Chad. How you doing?
Just chilling here in my bedroom.
doing the thing we all do, eh?
Oh, it's so weird, yeah. But it's like it comes in handy working from home, because you don't have to wear pants or shoes sometimes, and that's really nice.
I've worn normal pants in a year.
I mean, I literally last weekend was trying on some clothes, and my husband and I got rid of 3 trash bags of clothes, and I'm not going to say why because I'm a little ashamed. But
amazing.
Here we are.
The new normal, the new body.
It's a lot of new.
The new mindset. Yeah.
But how's everyone? It's been a hot second. I mean, since I've seen your faces.
Right. Yeah, we were on the Clubhouse together
but no faces.
With no faces. And now we are on the StreamYard together with faces.
Yeah, I like this app. This is a nice fancy little app.
Yeah, it's great, and it's easy to use because you don't have to download anything. So that's the best thing about it. I mean, what have we been up to? We've just been creating and launching our little festival that we're going to do again this year that we did last year. I was just
listening to you two talk about it. Which is exciting.
So that's going to be really cool, and so that's kind of what we've been up to artistically, right, Taryn? Do you have anything?
No, that's it. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but we're so excited to get to talk to you, and I think it's gonna be
oh my God. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, can you just tell the audience who you are and your arc and your career and and all of that information?
Sure, happy to. My name's Chad Murnane. I am a casting director at Binder Casting in New York City. And for those of you who are familiar with Binder Casting, I'm sure, sort of already know what we do. But for those of you who maybe don't know, Binder Casting is the oldest still operating Broadway casting office in New York City, with 150 plus Broadway, off-Broadway, and national touring credits, and tons and tons of regional theaters. So we do all sorts of things. And I've gotten to work with Taryn and Richard a few years ago doing their wonderful production of Freedom Riders at NYMF, the New York Music Theater Festival, which sadly is no longer with us. But so, yeah, I went to school for theater like so many people, but I fell into casting 7 years ago, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's me.
and Chad, we want to bring on our 2 other production members on our team here. We have Lonnie Hughes and Nathan Nonhoff that want to join the conversation here as well. So now it's a party.
Hi.
Hello. So good to meet you, Chad.
Yes, likewise, sir.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Likewise. Happy to be here.
Yes. Happy to have you on board.
And Richard, I think you're freezing, but go ahead.
Oh, he's muted.
I'm sorry, I'm having real technical issues here. Can you see me now?
Yep.
No, I was just going to tell everybody the reason we know Chad is Chad was our casting director for Freedom Riders at the New York Theater Festival. And one of the reasons why we have such the amazing cast that we have been able to rock with now for 3 or 4 years. And what I love about what casting directors do that I didn't know at the time is that not only, do they find great talent, but what they do is they champion that talent. And I don't think a lot of actors know that, that there's that in between the the production team and, what they want. And kind of sometimes they are, almost like fortune tellers of what sometimes we go into thinking we know one thing, and it's supposed to be something else. And what I really love what casting directors do is they really are in tune with that, and they kind of figure out, okay, to get you that thing, but also to go even farther past that. And we had that happen with a few cast members where we thought we knew what we wanted something else, and Chad was so great and championed these actors, and they fulfilled everything we thought we wanted, but even more, and we fell in love with them. And casting, that's why they're so important in the equation of what we do artistically in the entertainment business. Because they're champions of the actors, but they're also champions of the project, and they want to find the right person to really embody what that project is about. And that's literally their sole purpose to do that. And they also want to make careers, and they want to do all these things. And it's so great to have one. And it's such a vital, important piece to doing great work. So that's how we know Chad. And that's why it's so great to sit and singularly talk to you and have our cast talk to you, not our cast, our production team talk and ask you questions. And I hope the audience really gets to know why this job is so important and why you're so important. So,
do you want to be my agent?
There you go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, my God, that's so amazing. Thank you for those kind words. And the feeling is very mutual, of course. It has been a mutually beneficial relationship. So I'm very grateful too. But I'm happy to answer any questions and talk about any.
I have a question for you, Chad. What has been somewhat your in the last 7 years and going into now COVID, your biggest challenge with or frustration, I want to say, getting the talent you want and actually getting them to be seen the way that could be challenging to some people in this interface with Zoom. And what has been that challenge for you, or frustration?
My biggest frustration is probably the lack of work right now. The industry is really shut down, TV, film, and theater, really across the board. So I think my biggest frustration is that there's just, normally I'm juggling 8 and 10 plus projects at once, and I thrive in that kind of being overwhelmed. I thrive when I'm overwhelmed. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do right now with so much free time, because there's projects that come up here and there, and of course, readings and labs have come up, and I was casting some stuff earlier on in COVID that we thought obviously would come to fruition now and this past summer, which of course sadly was not the case. So I guess that's obviously a huge frustration. But as far as the casting, what I have done has been sort of typical in a lot of ways. The only thing that's really been new has been the virtual auditioning. And even that is not totally new, especially with TV and film. And I spent 3 years casting TV and film in Los Angeles, actually, sandwiched in between my theater. I started in theater. I went to TV and film in LA, and I came back to theater in New York. And so, virtual auditioning is not a new thing. I think it's newer for theater for sure. So I think my second frustration is probably the people who are not quite used to it, just trying to get them on board. And that's across the board: actors, directors, producers, music directors, choreographers, artistic directors. It's across the board. And people have been really, really awesome about it. And I think now that we've had so much time with Zoom and other platforms that do virtual auditioning, I think people are really getting familiar with it and getting adjusted to it. And I think that, that this is going to change the landscape forever. I think that we are 100% going to see a hybrid of virtual and in person, not just auditions, but also I think theater. I think that theater is going to really truly be multi-hyphenated and mixed media and mixed arts, which I'm really excited about because I think that just creates more opportunity.
Yes.
And it's more economical. For like so long, the theater is a broken system. As much as I love it, and I'm sure we can all agree that it doesn't always work, and we need to change it. And I think that this has certainly pushed a lot of people out of their comfort zone, and which I'm excited about. You know, so did that answer the question?
Yeah, definitely. It was more kind of like, we're all so accustomed. Oh, we kind of get into groove, myself included. I love when things are consistent, but I have to tell you, this period of time right now that we're in, I have become an inconsistent lover of life. I love the inconsistency that, oh, what do we have to do today? What do we have to do today? How is this going to work? And it for this team, I know it's been a lot of fine tuning, and it's been quite exceptional to work. So I was just kind of curious, being on the other end in the scope that you've worked in, that particular personalness. So yeah, you did answer the question. Thank you.
Cool.
Chad, I'm with you. I love a little organized, but a lot of chaos. I thrive in madness and stress, which makes a lot of sense for my role in this company. But I actually have a question for you, and in the vein of what you were talking about the 3 different mediums we essentially work in now. I'm curious. I want to step into your brain as much as you'll let us, and if you could share with us what you look for when you're seeing people audition in a theater audition versus a film versus now this more multimedia streaming platform. What is it different, and what do you standardly look for?
It's so funny. I'm repurposing a bio and an artist statement, and I've been trying to find the words to articulate this exact question. So I'm going to do my best. What I always say is, well, working backwards a little bit, I always say that a really good actor, a skilled actor is a skilled actor. And as long as you have the education, the skill, the training to back that up, then I don't care what medium you work in, TV, film, theater. I am most interested as a casting professional in blurring those sort of artificial lines that people sort of create, these boxes that people draw. So for me, the honest answer is, what do I look for? It's just a really talented and skilled performer who has that education and skill to back up that talent, because talent, as we know, is not enough. You need so much more than that. And very, very rarely does the most talented person that walks in the room get the job, because there's so many other factors that go into it. And I think that I look for that thing that excites me, right? We all are looking for that thing that excites us, but there's so many other pieces of the puzzle that go into it. So yeah, I guess there's not a huge difference in what I'm looking for between TV, film, and theater in the mediums. But I guess there are little things that are specific to film. There are little things that are specific to theater. But I think that those things can be coached in a really skilled actor, right? No matter where you started or where you've come from. So that's my philosophy.
I think that's a really cool message, especially for a lot of performers and even directors and producers who are nervous in this environment, because we're so used to, for a lot of us, traditional theater or even traditional film, that we might be afraid to even put ourselves out there because we're not sure that our experience will match. But like you just said, if the talent's there and the training is there, you can help them develop, we can help them develop new skills, or we can develop new skills. And I think that that's a really cool message to send, not only to performers, but also to ourselves as producers and directors, to look beyond the confines of just stage performers or just film performers.
Yeah, artists are multi-hyphenated, right? They wear so many hats. People really wear so many hats. And so I think, I think the industry does already, really really forces people into boxes. And I'm all about breaking out of those boxes whenever we can. And I think this is one way that we can totally break out of those molds,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and Chad, I mean, you're responsible for two of our favorite actors, Payson Lewis, of course, who has been playing in Freedom Riders, our John Singenthaler, and also he's been playing our Walt Disney in our new show.
I did see that, yes,
about Walt and Roy, which is really, really neat, and an amazing actor. And then you're also responsible for Anthony Chapman II, who is another incredible friend of ours. And it's because of you that we met him, and he's been playing our John Lewis in Freedom Riders ever since you cast him for us. So we're really, really excited about having both of those people on the team.
They're both good people.
Yeah. What when you're out there looking for people like Anthony's and Payson's, like where are you looking? Where did you find them? What was the thing?
Well, so it's funny. I had just seen Anthony in the Broadway revival tour of Into the Woods when it came to the Amundsen in LA. And I had not known Anthony before that, but I fell in love with him and his voice, and he's just so interesting and a vulnerable and intelligent actor, which I love my musical theater people, but sometimes those are the diamond in the roughs. Unfortunately. I was trying to be careful how I said it. And I've seen Payson in a couple of things in Los Angeles. I'm trying to think of, I don't remember the one thing that I had seen him in. But I definitely, he is big in the musical theater scene. In
was it Dogfight?
Oh, it was Dogfight. Yes. Huh. It was Dogfight. 100% was Dogfight. A very good production of Dogfight, actually, which is often not the case with LA theater either. So he also stuck out to me. And he's also a very talented actor, but also a really smart singer. And he's just and a good person. And I think, back to your question earlier about what does a casting director look for, I'm also looking for good people. I want to find good people and to put good people in casts with good people. Because again, like acting and talent and ability is not everything. And they're both really good people. And that I remember that,
Yeah, absolutely. We remember that too. No, it's been really.
And Anthony's gone on to do two Broadway shows now.
I know that. Yeah, I know. He's keeping busy. I mean, all the way up to the shutdown, he was keeping busy. Yeah. We're really excited to see.
Yeah.
Where he goes next.
Maybe back to Hadestown.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, Nathan's one of our producing partners on all of this as well. But the unique thing about Nathan too, and I guess this includes Lonnie and Rachel as well. But Nathan started mainly in the field of acting and really was focusing on the side of acting. And so we're excited to have him. And Nathan, just from that perspective, what sort of what are the questions that you had always had as an actor, in front of a casting director?
I don't know if it's so much a question rather than a realization, but I had worked with some casting directors before, and I'd had a class taught by a casting director as well. And so I really got kind of like an inside look into what casting directors have done. And now that, I've gotten a chance to do a little bit more of it myself, I find out that, how much how much, you really are rooting for every actor. And I think a lot of actors fear that. And that's something we have to constantly remind ourselves, is that no, like, everybody in the room, wants you to be there. They wouldn't have asked you to be there if they didn't want you to be there, so I think it gives you just that wonderful permission to really, to take it and own it, because everybody wants you to. And everybody sees that thing that whatever it is, and they're rooting for you to bring that to the table. So I think that was more the realization that I had, as far as like jumping more into the production side of things.
That's a good realization. Yeah. And actors, they always, I mean, actors, I love them, but they are self-sabotaging, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
They will find every reason why they shouldn't be in the room instead of every reason why they should be in the room. And it's such a trite statement, but it's so true, which is why it's cliched, and I more. Yeah.
Do you think they do that as a defense mechanism because of years of rejection? Fear of rejection? Sometimes I walk in a room and I'm like, this is mine. I am queen. And then sometimes I walk in, I'm like,
But I think you have to walk in like you are queen. And then you settle into the room. And then you do your best work and you leave, right? I think so many actors come in not thinking that they are queen, and they're defeated before they even walk in the door. And that's just not helpful, Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Chad, have you ever had a role, like, coming from being an actor? I'm always very curious about this, where you see a role and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was like, I could do this right now. Like, have you had a moment where you were like, this is the moment I was looking for,
I mean, not really, I guess, because I never really did the audition scene. I interned throughout college, and when I graduated in 2012, I went into casting full-time right after my showcase. So I feel like I never got invested in enough in like roles that I felt like there was something that I wanted to do. And I certainly don't feel that way now when I'm casting a show, but I do know casting friends who feel that way.
Yeah.
But I don't. I also I just didn't have the heart to do it, to face that rejection every day and get up at 6 o'clock and go to those open calls and wait outside in the freezing cold weather. No.
Me neither. I could never do it. I couldn't. Well, I did it. I could not do it. I just realized that very early. I have no desire, and I feel for them when you're sitting in a room as a director or a producer. I personally know what these people are putting themselves through, rejection-wise, and all of this stuff. It's intensely personal. And yet we have to ask them to divorce themselves from it, because it's a weird casting situation. I might just want someone that has a little quirk to them, and there's nothing you can do about that. I just might jive with that person better. There's nothing you can do about that. There's just so many things, This person might be from Ohio, and you guys are basically exactly the same that you're going against, and I just want those because we have something in common. It can literally be that minute for an actor, and and that's just the crazy way it is, because there's so many talented people. I think that's the other thing. It's like I don't think I think people think there's a lack of talent within this world, but I think there's almost too much.
There's way too much talent. Yes.
There's so much talent, Can you imagine if you do a white girl call for a soprano?
Oh, forget
Good Lord. It's like you'll be here for 4 days,
Longer, probably.
Right, probably longer. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. In saying that, not envying their position, I don't envy casting directors as well, because you guys, just going through reels and resumes and headshots and Oh,
But it's so
craziness.
fun. It's so fun and exciting.
Do you find that casting directors are of a certain breed?
Like to become a casting director?
Yeah, like a certain personality type. In a way.
I do. I mean, yes, I do. I think to be successful at it, and I'm not trying to generalize it, but I think, yes, I think that you have to have an incredible memory, an encyclopedic memory of faces and names, and you have to have a hunger for wanting to find people and match them. I look at myself as a creative matchmaker. And I think you have to have a hunger for that, an appetite for that. But just, to remember all of those actors in your mind. And obviously you don't remember every actor you see, but you have to remember a good 75% of them, especially the ones that you respect and love, So I think that's a real skill. And I didn't even know it was a thing until I was in college, and I was developing it without knowing that I was developing it. And that's sort of how my teachers in college guided me towards casting. They're like, you remember all of these actors and all of these names and the swings and all of these people. I'm like, that's a skill. Like, people do that for a living. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a Tuesday to me, just remembering all these people's names. Okay. So I think that, and the other thing is being crazy, fiercely detail oriented, just so type A about everything, just everything, which I also am. So I think those are probably the two biggest skills that you need if you want to become a casting director. Because you can learn all of the other skills, right? It's not like you need to go get a master's or a BFA in casting, and obviously they don't even have that. You can learn all of the administrative skills and that side of casting. But I guess the other thing you probably have to have that you really can't be taught is taste, right? And of course, taste is subjective, but I would like to think that I have a high level of taste. But my taste is my taste, and if somebody doesn't like it, I'm not going to apologize for that either. It's just isn't a fit, kind of what you were talking about with actors. That's how we feel as casting directors when we're interviewing for projects. Do we have a fit? Is there a mutual connection that we have? What's our aesthetic? What brand am I selling? What brand do you want to sell? There's just so many things that go into it.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good, because I think that's to me the thing in all entertainment is the separation. We're basically all selling our taste, our gut. That's the thing that makes us of value, because ultimately, once you get to a certain level, everyone has a certain skill set, and now it's your taste itself that's going to hopefully set you apart when it comes to your work. So I love that. I think one of my other questions for you is, mostly because I know right now, last year and into this year, a lot of BIPOC people are trying to figure out how to be represented better. And I'd love to know, is it Bender casting? I always say it wrong. I want to say binder, but it's Bender casting. What are they looking at to get more BIPOC people into parts? Is there a thing? Is there a plan or a strategy? I would love to know.
Yeah, totally. I think there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. But I think, speaking, I guess, Binder as a whole first, we are working with a DEI consultant, and we are going to be doing what we've been doing, workshops and talkbacks and sessions with them, and they will continue. And we're looking at this as a long-standing relationship, just to learn from all of the things all of the wrong things that we've learned over the years, and the systemic racism that is truly baked into this country. And I think that just takes a lot of learning to undo some of those things, and things that, like micro and macroaggressions that you're not even aware of as a white person, or just as a person who grew up privileged or entitled. And of course, I would be lying if I said I haven't been learning some of those things about myself. But I think what is most important in this time is that you're open and you learn, and you have a willingness to learn and to accept the things, and to be willing to and ready to and armed to change them. And Binder is working on that as a company, and I certainly, as Chad, am working on that. I always fight for BIPOC performers. I mean, you both know, and I hope other people know that I'm not judging based on you being an abled person or the color of your skin. I know that sounds cheesy, but I think sort of to Rachel's point earlier, or to my point earlier, I guess, in regards to her question, the pool, casting a wide net and having a large pool of actors is what's so exciting about casting. If you are just limiting your options to just theater actors, just white people, or just a specific ethnicity, a specific medium, how limiting is that? And for me, as like a casting director who wants to put a stamp on things and make people think, create thought-provoking casting, which is really important to me, that just really goes against my philosophy and my beliefs. So Chad finds it really important to diversify, and not just racially, but across the board, gender diversity, sexual orientation, being an able-bodied person. Like, I think that you have to consider all of those things when casting a show. So going to the other part of that about like, how can BIPOC people be seen? I think that the industry is changing. And I think whether people like it or not, they either need to, I guess the nicest way to say it is like, get on board with it or get out, because this is how it's going to be, and this is how it should be. And if you have a problem with it, you probably shouldn't be in the arts, or in a position of power, if you're just going to continue perpetuating the systemic racism and discrimination and inequalities that we face in America. And that's just how I feel. So I hope what I hope, for me, most all of my breakdowns, not always, but when I can, I'm always looking for, all ethnicities, because I'm truly trying to stand by my philosophy that a good actor is a good actor, and going further than just saying it doesn't matter where you started, TV, film, or theater. It doesn't matter what you look like, or what the color of your skin is, or what your background is, or what culture you come from. If you're talented, you're talented, and you deserve to be in my room. And that's how I feel. I got lost. I was going to make another point, and I don't know where I got lost now.
I'll distract you with another question.
Okay. I was so close. Sorry.
You're good. Jump back in with it if you find it. But I have a question for you. So you sort of touched on the future of theater, and you talked about its growth and how it's going to change. Can you touch on it a little bit deeper, from your perspective in casting, on the future of theater, especially during these COVID times and post-COVID, and what you think that looks like for casting and actors and theater?
Yeah, totally. I think specifically, what we've learned, we've learned a lot of things. I think we've learned what works. We've learned our shortcomings, and we've certainly learned things that just don't work. And I think what I expect will happen with my crystal ball is that there will be this hybrid, and I think it will be anywhere from a 25 to 50% blend. So I think the early stages of casting, pre-screens, initial auditions with casting creative team, maybe even work sessions with casting, will likely be virtual. And that will be a blend of self-tapes. That will be a blend of virtual auditioning, through whether it be through Zoom or, Breakdown Express's EcoCast or other platforms that are developing. And then I think once you get into callbacks and chemistry reads and dance calls, and maybe, work sessions with a director, I imagine that stuff will probably be in person. So that's why I say I think the first half will remain virtual and the second half will be in person. Also, I think producers have just learned they can save literally dozens and dozens of thousands of dollars by not auditioning in a physical space. Because, you know, for those of you who don't know, I mean, who are watching, you know, a studio space in New York can cost, you know, upwards, close to and upwards of $1,000 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Broadway auditions can be 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks long. So you do the math. And regional theaters that don't have a huge budget, you know, they're in New York sometimes for a week doing auditions and callbacks. And so if they could save 2 or 3 of those days by doing them virtually, they're truly saving, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. And that means a lot to some of these smaller LORT theaters. And I also think it's just great because as a casting director, I can see more people. I mean, yes, I know actors don't.
That's just what I was going to ask.
You can see way more people. Actors don't like it, of course, because they don't want you to see more people. And I totally understand that, 100% respecting it. But at the end of the day, my job is to see as many people as I can so that I can truly find the right person. You know, I'm hesitant to use the word perfect. Sometimes I feel like I get it perfect and sometimes I don't. But I always strive for perfection. But we all know we're human and that's not something that is tangible. So you see lots of people to find the best person that you possibly can. So I would rather see 300 self-tapes and narrow it down to 60 people that I'm going to bring in versus only being able to see 60 people in the room. You know, I'd rather see those 300 because there might be somebody unexpected. And actors ask all the time, how do I get seen for you? How do I get seen for a Broadway casting office? How do I get seen for a show when I don't have this on my resume? I don't have an agent. I'm not equity. I'm not represented. And the answer is, this is how it can help you because now you can submit that tape. And if we're truly talking about equitable practices, that's a way to implement equitable practices. You're evening out the playing field. You know, you're making it more equitable. I was trying to find another word, so I didn't have to say equitable again. But you're making it so that those people who don't have all of those things, but still have the skill and the goods and the talent can be considered. And that's a thing.
It also broadens up an ability, like to kind of piggyback on that. It broadens up an opportunity for people who struggle with transportation or, you know, have other events taking place on days of auditions and they can't get out of them. It gives them an opportunity and gives communities of people who might not have opportunities to audition for things like this a chance to maybe become a performer, and they might not have known they had that ability. And what's more, you wouldn't have known that they existed because they could never be in that room before.
And even further than that, it truly allows people the opportunity to be an actor and live anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I mean, I love New York. I'm a diehard New Yorker. I've been here since 2009, and I won't leave. But I know that there are plenty of actors who don't love the quality of life here. And I say, if you don't have to, then why? Like, if you would rather live in Philadelphia or Los Angeles or Atlanta or Portland, like, do it, because you can self-tape and be virtually anywhere now. As long as you can get yourself to New York or Los Angeles for those callbacks that we were talking about that would be in person, then I say do what makes you happy, because life's too short to be miserable stuck in New York if you don't love New York. You know? I mean,
Yes.
That's awesome. Is there an added difficulty for you now with the whole idea that as we go back to, you know, you were saying a percentage of it staying sort of online and digital and a percentage of it on stage, juggling between equity and SAG and like the agreements between both unions?
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think we've all read the headlines. We've all, seen deadline articles. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I hope that there can be a beautiful marriage between the two for certain projects, and there can be some real definitive I guess I want to get rid of the gray, right? Like, what is SAG territory? What is equity territory? And when can they work together and have this beautiful marriage? We have obviously not seen that yet. And I hope that that can happen in the future, because I think it's important for the sustainability of the industry and certainly for performers.
Absolutely.
It's a tricky, that's a tricky topic.
Yeah.
It's a hot topic right now.
Right. Well, Chad, I know you only have about 8 minutes left here before you have to go. So something that we started doing last week in our conversation series that I want to bring into this is something that we're calling the lightning round. And this lightning round is going to be the do's and don'ts. Okay. And I want you to give me the do's and don'ts of the following list here as a casting director. So the first one is the do's and don'ts of a headshot.
Oh boy, the do's and don'ts of a headshot. Woo! I want it vertical. I'm not a huge horizontal fan. Obviously, it needs to be in color. Please, for the love of God, have your name on it. I personally love a border. I think it just gives a cleaner look. Just something, it feels a little bit more polished and professional. And please don't print it on glossy paper. Matte is the way to go.
I love it. The do's and don'ts of a resume.
Okay. Make sure it's stapled to that beautiful headshot. Preferably not upside down. You wouldn't believe how many times I get upside down headshot in resumes.
Do you prefer it like flappy stapled, like a staple in the corner, or all?
I love like one at the top in the center, one at the bottom in the center, just to like secure the paper. Clean, clear, concise. If you have an agent, awesome. But I always think it's important to put your direct contact information, email, and cell phone number. You don't know how many times we need to get in contact with you directly for something last minute that happens. Like, oh my God, the director wants a different scene and it's 10 o'clock and I can't get a hold of your agent and your audition's tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So I got to call or email you. Have your contact information on there. It happens more than you think. And it's not an agent's job to be available 24/7. Like, so it's nice to be able to get in contact with somebody if you need to. Other things on a resume, I guess I like special skills. They're kind of an icebreaker for me, as is like when you walk in the room, like, and there's that little introduction, that little slate. I look at it as an icebreaker opportunity. So I look at special skills to sort of incorporate sometimes into that icebreaker moment. So, find things that are interesting and things that you really do. And I get people putting like, I have a driver's license, or I can walk in high heels, or, things like that. But I'm like there must be other cool things that you do that are like more unique. So I encourage people to find really unique skills, because I might ask you for them.
I love it.
I think I definitely ask somebody to like burp the alphabet. So.
That's a great segue, actually, because my next one is the do's and don'ts of a good slate.
Name, height, where you are based, what project you're auditioning for, and what role. That's it. Super easy.
Wow.
I like it.
Name, height, location, project, role.
Period.
Done.
And my final one is the do's and don'ts of a performance reel.
Less than 2 minutes. I think the sweet spot is 90 seconds. I think that in addition to having that compilation reel, I think breaking it down into clips is super helpful, so that if I just want to see you sing a certain genre, or watch you dance, or watch you do a scene from a particular TV show, that I have the autonomy to pick what I want, but I also have the option to watch the whole thing and upload it onto breakdown when should I send your audition off to a creative team and they want to learn more about you. So I think options are really important with reels. And I think 2 minutes anything over 2 minutes is too long. And I think a minute can be a little short, which is why I personally find the sweet spot to be 90 seconds.
I love it. Well, that concludes the do's and don'ts round. I guess you passed.
Yay! That stuff makes me so nervous. I get so nervous with like speed dating sort of stuff.
I just learned so much from you in about 90 seconds.
I know, is it?
Thanks.
And
Well,
Richard, do you
thank
want
you
to close
so
us
much.
out?
Sure. I mean, thank you, Chad. Thank you for all of the gems that you dropped today. And I hope people were on and they learned and they realized that there are people out there fighting for them and that want to see them do well. And that I believe that about all casting directors. I think all casting directors want every actor that comes through to be at their best, and always are doing their best to create the environment that anyone can succeed in. And I know that about you, and I think you're a credit to your career. And so we're so thankful you came on and that you are always there for us, and we appreciate it. And we applaud you. And
we'll see you on the next project.
Yeah, and thank you all. It was nice to meet those of you that I don't know. So hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Chad.
Yeah, thanks. Likewise.
Yes.
Now I just have to figure out how to exit out of this thing. I've never used this.
Yeah. You just close it down. You're good to go.
Okay, well, you have a lovely night. I'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Thanks,
bye,
Chad.
Chad.
Take care.
Bye, Chad.
Take care.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
He was so lovely. His sincerity was so paramount. It was really, really, really nice to feel. And I hope the viewers actually felt like, oh, casting directors are people, right? And it was very, very, very lovely. Very nice guy.
Yeah, we like him a lot.
Yeah, we're extremely grateful for him. He's brought a lot of our closest friends and performers into our circle. So
yeah, you forgot a few last time. You forgot Scott Redman. You forgot
Redman.
You forgot Nigel.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
Deontay.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, so many.
So a lot.
Incredible.
Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you, audience, for joining us, and join us next week, same time, same place, and
another conversation.
We'll have some more gems to drop.
Take care, everybody.
See you guys.